I'm not wearing the color of the day today because I want to talk about Chokmah. Chokmah is the sphere that is the top of the pillars, mercy, and it is the supernal father. Its colors are gray or white. And I want to talk about what's ruling it. Each of the other spheres other than Keter has a spot, has a planet that is associated with it. And when we get to Chokmah, what we have is the entire zodiac. It is the swirling Milky Way. It is the dance of the stars. And it is the only time I have ever found that the progression of the ages actually affected the working I've done. Now, people have come up recently on Facebook and said a lot about Ophiuchus, Ophiuchus, whatever you want to call it, this constellation that's supposed to be the 13th. And after 27 years that I have been active in pagan rituals, I will tell you there has only been one ritual I have ever done that I found there was any difference. And that was the year that I worked with Chokmah, because Chokmah rules the entire zodiac. And I found when crossing the abyss that it seemed to matter where the sun actually was rather than astrologically where the sun was said to have been. And my guess about that is that astrology came to us from the Greeks and from such long stories. The ancient Middle East honored this. We've got it from the Romans. All of these very old cultures did this working and wrote this energy descriptions up back when the sun actually was there. And that weight of history has continued it because the forms and the strength are still so powerful that when the moon is astrologically in Scorpio, we absolutely are dealing with issues of love and vengeance and all those other wonderful things that Scorpio rules. However, when I'm dealing in Chokmah, and I think it's because we had to jump the abyss to get there, either to get to Banah and cross over, or to go from Hesed up to Chokmah, we felt the energy shift every time the sun moved. And so Damon and I spent a year, because we had to try them all, going at once and hopefully twice into Chokmah in Aries, and then into Chokmah in Taurus, and then into Chokmah in each of the other signs. And while you could feel some of the elemental pieces there, I also very clearly got a better understanding of what that work meant. Unfortunately, Scorpio is only about 7 degrees long, and we had only about a week that we could work Scorpio. So of all the signs that the two Scorpios doing the working wanted to do the most, we only had 1 week in which to do it, and could only manage to make ritual once that time. One of these days, I think I gotta go back there. The other thing I will say about Chokmah and the Zodiac is that that energy becomes so intense because it is pure energy. And the incense is frankincense, which has had such a long history of holding sacred work, that it was the point at which I began to understand why I think Aleister Crowley did his Thoth Tarot deck that way. And perhaps it was a trick of the light and the depth of the incense. But all of a sudden, looking across the room at the other priest I was working with, I could see a waver in the air. I could see almost the motions like a Cubist painting. And since Picasso's Cubist period was part of the influence of the Thoth Tarot, I started to believe that it wasn't as much the art that was influencing his style, but the depth and intensity that the air takes on when you have that much energy in a working. And it seemed the most powerful with the High Priestess, because she lies between Keter and Tifereth and bridges the abyss. Standing between the white and the black pillar, she embodies that tension between mercy and severity. So whether it was the cards we were working with or the fact that we'd been jumping the abyss for a year, there's my little insight onto what I think the incense and the power can begin to change when you do working seriously and thoroughly. For more information, find my website, tarotjane.com, or find me on Facebook, Tarot Jane, or Traveling the Tree with Jane Pierce.